Have you been involved with the Salvation Army?
Since 1985 is when I joined the church.
And how and why did you become involved with the program?
I had a crazy great aunt that lived next door to my grandmother and kept asking me to go to church at Salvation Army. And I had never heard of it, but finally one day, just to kind of get her off my back, I went to worship at the Salvation Army. And there were several good-looking girls in the youth group, and so dated them all and ended up marrying my wife, which grew up in the Salvation Army. And so she felt the calling as a young child to do this. And when I was 18 years of age, the Lord placed this call on my life to be a part of the Salvation Army.
What roles does the Salvation Army play within the community?
We help people of all walks of life, folks that some feel like they ended their rope, and the Salvation Army is there to offer them hope through material things and also through spiritual means, because our first priority is the church, and then all the wonderful things that we do as far as rent, utilities, and prescriptions, and children's programs, and disaster work, and senior programs. All of those things are different ways we play a part in this community.
Could you talk about maybe your favorite program that's offered?
About a year and a half ago, we started what we call our Holy Grounds Coffee House and Teen Club, and we started that, I just said, about a year and a half ago, and we are open from 7 p.m. till whenever on Friday nights, just for teenagers to come and have a positive place to hang out. And so that's probably been my most favorite thing, other than just especially someone. See, I haven't had to do a whole lot of disaster work here. I did go out to Texas and do some a year and a half ago, but not really here in this community. But our disaster ministry is kind of where the rubber meets the road, when somebody's lost everything and you have an opportunity just to give them maybe a bottle of water or a sandwich to eat. And so that's a huge part of what the Salvation Army does. But my most favorite thing is to preach the Word every Sunday morning and challenge folks to grow closer in their relationship with Christ.
Could you tell us about your specific duties as a captain?
I preach, I help with children, I help with seniors, I vacuum floors, unstop toilets, I've changed diapers. I mean, the whole gamut, we touch children of every age group, every size, every situation. So I don't know if I could sit here for a little while and tell you all the duties that a Salvation Army officer does, but it's just, I guess, standing at people's bedside when they take their last breath, being at the hospital when they're injured. So, I kind of was created just to do things for other people. It's kind of what a Salvation Army officer should be.
What is the most difficult part of your job?
I have said this every appointment I've ever been. Nothing is really difficult in what we do, but it bothers me if I can't reach an individual. Because there are some children and adults that no matter what you do, they cannot understand that you want to love them and care for them, because they have never experienced that before. To have a child look you in the eyes with that thought of, what do you mean you love me? My parents don't even love me. And we get that with seniors as well sometimes. They've been abused almost their entire life. And for me, I still have some people today, because I love to hug people, and so I can put my arm around some people and just feel the tension from them to think, why nobody's loved me before. And so that's always the toughest part, if you can't reach someone.
And what brings you the most joy?
Seeing someone come to a better relationship with Jesus Christ. watching their spiritual walk improve. And when your spiritual walk improves, because I believe the Salvation Army has some wonderful programs throughout this entire world. We're in 116 countries. And so the greatest joy is to see someone's heart changed, because we know when that heart changes, and all the outward stuff that they do is going to be different and better. For not just them, but for everyone they come in contact with. So when someone's heart is changed for the better, then that ripple effect we can't even imagine, or what happens throughout that whole process.
And finally, how can people get involved with the Salvation Army?
They can call our office at 693-4181. Someone on the other end of that line, whether it's myself or our volunteer coordinator, our social service worker, our children's director, any of those folks, our thrift store, our family store, manager, all of those different people can find some way that anyone in this community can help. Matter of fact, right now, East Henderson High School brings over their special education class at least once a week and helps out in the family store. And so no matter what age, no matter what condition you're in, somewhere, somehow, the Salvation Army, can use someone to volunteer or to pray or to make a donation. Because the Salvation Army, a few years back, came up with a brand where we're doing the most good. And that's a promise that we're making in this community, that we're doing the most good for people in need because of donors' contributions of time, money, and resources. So with people's time, money, and resources, the Salvation Army can do some wonderful things in other people's lives.